That was for my own good, because guys, for some reason I'm like nervous. I feel like I'm standing on stage and y'all are looking at me and I'm like but I'm standing in my living room and there's a camera and here's lights, but I feel the future. I feel the future yous, which is actually the current you in your reality watching me. Well, let me go ahead and introduce myself. I go by Glow nowadays, and I don't remember if I've really told you guys that, because I've been gone for a while, and that's kind of what I wanted to make this video about, is where I've been, what I've been up to. I just want to clarify why I go by Glow, I guess now, or like state it as official, so I'm not confused on how to introduce myself anymore. As y'all know, I was Floor once upon a time. That name kind of came out of nowhere, and it became it. Whereas Glow, oh no, I did not. No. Okay, it's on silent. Sorry guys. So I was talking about my name, Glow. I started going by that in 2016 after an experience, like, okay, I've had the Golden Glow as my screen name for a while on Instagram, but it has just been like a goal of mine. The Golden Glow represents the feeling of recharging and just warmth of sun and nature, and just that's the Golden Glow to me, right? And it became clear to me that that would be a great symbol for me to go by Glow, to seek to have that feeling all the time and to emit that feeling of what I believe is spirit. So I got the glow out of the way. So first things first, you notice my hair is probably different than you last saw me. So if you don't know this, we got lice in Hawaii.
We got lice, and we're about to shave our heads. Just thought I'd tell you.
I don't know if you know we went to Hawaii, but here is a link up here to a video where you can watch our woofing experience. I will just let you know, when I booked that ticket, something deep inside me said, you will lose your dreads if you go to Hawaii. And something rebellious inside me said, oh yeah, watch this. And I did everything I could to not get dread rot, not get mildew. I kept them clean, I kept them dry. And then about a month after I got back from Hawaii, I realized I had a lice infestation for basically the last 3 months, and so did the man. And we shaved off our dreads after we realized that it was just, brushing them out would have been insane. And then I just had done so much damage to my dreads with the bleaching and the coloring. It felt right to shave it. It felt like a release of this identity that I had built, and it empowered this feeling of finding my identity and who I am, and actually, yeah, like a really deep who am I feeling, which I am going to make a video about. Oh, and I want to mention that I'm going to mention a lot of videos that will be coming up. This is my first one I'm making finally, after I think about a year of when we posted the last dreadlock videos, when I had short blonde hair. Anyway, those videos were like a year and a half ago. So since you saw me, I basically felt like I needed a retreat and to just get away from life. So yes, that took me to Hawaii, where we woofed. That planted so many seeds of change for me. I was there for 3 months, and I was able to connect with myself, with the earth, with food. I feel strong. I got so strong feeling there in myself after just being a wreck for most of it. It was like all of my shadow. I was facing all of my shadow. It was the end of my Saturn Return, which I'll make a video about that too. The link will be up there, the little note card annotation. That's what they call them, annotation. So Basically, these annotations will be added as I make the video. So if there's not one there yet, I just haven't made the video yet. So the Saturn Return, I'll just summarize, is basically a part of someone's life around the age of 30 where they basically go through a dark time. That's such a short summary, okay? So I was at the end of this dark night of the soul for myself, and Hawaii, Maui, just nurtured me back to health, and my own work that I did there, seeing every moment as a teacher, every trigger as a customized guru for me in that exact moment. It was teaching me so much, and I was just having this firmness inside of me to be all of that I needed. Finding out that I was my own mother, my own mother nurturing my own inner child. And, you know, my own teacher just reflecting back at me through my own reactions. And so, oh, and a big cool thing I was experiencing was this automatic balance feeling. So I would feel, say, the sadness of the suffering of all the animals, and it would really pull me down, but then instantly it's like, ding, this light came and brought it to balance. It was like, but look how beautiful and how sweet animals are, and you get to connect with them. And I just kept having this yin-yang effect that was just very healing for my being. It almost like changed me and redid my DNA though, for real. Like transformation station. Okay, so the most difficult part of Hawaii is when I left, I didn't have a home to come back to, because before I went there, I moved out of my apartment and sold almost all of my belongings and just hired an employee to fulfill our orders in this little office space that we had. And so when I got back after a dreadlocking tour with lice, didn't know, yeah, talk about embarrassing, having to call everybody and let them know that you had lice. Especially people you just dreadlocked. It was humbling. It was so humbling. Okay, so also coming home and not having a home was humbling, because I moved back in with my parents in their basement, and basically was on the hunt for a home. It was there that I found out I had the lice and shaved the dreads, and then the same day signed a lease to an apartment that was sketchy and moved in. And then as soon as the doors closed and I was alone with all my belongings, I freaked out. And I texted the landlord like crazy and did not feel safe in there, and all of a sudden was very scared. And mind you, this was after my parents gave me input because they had not seen the place. My cat wants to go out. So basically I was in like a daze of coming back to the mainland from heaven, shaving my dreadlocks, which was a big deal. I'm sure some of you guys can tap into how big of a deal that would feel like for you. But then also moving with my parents, like there was so much going on, and I had such an urgency to move out that I just did it so quickly without even really thinking. And then it all hit me once the doors were closed. Luckily the next day she let me break my lease and I moved out. My parents helped me move 2 times in 2 days and moved back into their house. And that was also very humbling. And I was able to realize the standards that I actually had for living space. Like I needed an office, and I needed a space like this to have people over at, a space to host people for dreadlocks, because I do dreadlock transformations for people. They come and they stay here, and I do hair. Found this place after searching for months and months and being like, for rent sign, for rent sign, for rent sign, checking everything, checking all the websites, forgetting about this local one called KSL. Shout out to KSL. This is the first listing we saw on it, called it, came and saw it, was sure it was gonna work out. So now here we live. I live now alone. That's another story. So found this house, and it's been a blessing because I have been able to just settle, spread out, acquire things again, create each space to be exactly how I would want it. And my soul just grows in that condition. After feeling like I didn't have a home for a while, during my whole dreadlock journey, I moved out of a place that I was in for 8 years, moved to LA to a couple different places, broke my teeth, moved back into my parents, and then like just kept moving around without ever really settling in. And so it feels so nurturing to my Cancer self. I'm a Cancer, and we really thrive with a home, like base. So it's all comfy, it's all beautiful, it's all thrifted or made by me, and it just is full of soul and character, which is known as wabi sabi. So I've been doing a lot of studying. Basically my spiritual journey is just deep in it. My dread journey brought me right into my spiritual journey. Food in my teeth. Now I know my path and I'm on it, and it's just up to me to do the daily disciplines that I want to have and practices, because I get a little bit indulgent and just doing whatever's comfortable and easy. And preferably I would be doing things like using my body more actively every single day with discipline, meditating every day with discipline, art every day, music every day, and food preparation every day. I do most of those things, but not every one of them every day. But I really want to grow. And so while I have been focusing on my growth and well-being, I have been omitting all sorts of things that don't serve me, particularly foods, which I'm proud to say I'm about 10 months clean of my biggest addiction that I have fought my whole life with, sugar. And let me tell you, if I accidentally have cane or white sugar of some sort, it affects me very negatively. I'll just leave it at that. I will probably go more into that in another video. So I actually had a sugar exposure earlier this week. I was planning on filming this a few days ago, but boo to sugar. It's a drug. So, another thing I've been doing since I found this place is creating community around me, because that's something that I have totally missed since I left Hawaii. I loved it. I lived on a tiny farm with just like a handful of people, and we worked together every day and showed up for meetings and showed up for circles and showed up for potlucks and showed up for cafes and everything. Like, we did everything together, and it was very structured, and I missed the structure, I missed the community, and so I was like, I'm creating that. So I have been having women's circles here, and now I have something that we are calling right now the Core 4 Women, which is 4 women where we meet every 2 weeks on the new moon, on the full moon, and we do, last time it was art and music night where we learned a song together and did art together. And that's when I created, I think, what will be my logo. Maybe I'll show that right here. And then our plan is basically to help each other be accountable for stepping into our highest selves, and then also assisting each other where needed in order to share what we're called to share. And so right now we've just been meeting now for 3 weeks. It'll be our 4th time next time, and we're just getting the ball rolling and figuring out exactly what we're doing. And I'll share more of that soon. Maybe it'll end up a course, because growing a community is amazing, or finding a community. I feel that that is pivotal in overcoming depression, which I fought for a while, addiction, which I fought for a while, but I still struggle to say. So I'm proud of myself for saying that. Loneliness, not to mention it like helps overcome loneliness. You get therapy because you get a reflection back. You can like just bounce off of each other, and so friendships are so important, and community, and especially honest community reflections that are showing up like you are, because it can be really hard to step up when you're surrounded by people who aren't. But that's all I'm going to say about that right now. Separate video later. I'm going to check and make sure we're still rolling. And we are. This is so great. I can't believe this is getting done right now. I'm so happy. You guys don't understand the resistance that I have struggled with daily just to get in front of the camera. It was one of my biggest challenges. Why is it so hard? I don't know. Well, I'm learning why. I'll share more about that as I discover, but it has been so difficult for me to just be seen for a while. So it feels good to be like, and like be ready almost to be doing this. Like, I don't feel nervous anymore. feel back in my groove. Not having butterflies anymore. Another thing I've been doing since you saw me is creating tons of art, specifically in the past few months. I'm just gonna show you a little bit of the images right here. They're going it. Do you like it? I'm finding my style finally after doing art my whole life, but never really regularly. And what I plan to do with my artwork is send it out for free to every package that we fulfill for Wired and Stoned. Mostly because it just makes my heart sing to think of my artwork in someone's home. And eventually, like soon, I want to, like actually maybe after I film this, I'm gonna look into getting it printed on tapestries, because I've gotten them in a high quality scan that I could upload them and have them printed. I don't know if you guys would be interested in that, but if that becomes available, you bet you'll see in a link right now for that. I'm loving feeling finally like I am saying something with my art. Even if nobody gets what I'm saying, it's therapeutic for me to put out a feeling. To hear people say that it makes them feel something is just special, because it's basically a living prayer that I have put hours and hours into trying to translate into a viewable art, and then for people to be able to view it and see my heart that I really labored over. And this is why I love art, and this is why I want other people, particularly everybody, to make music and art, because it is the most tangible way to actually express and show your soul. You can do it through adornment on your body that you were born into and didn't choose, but the way you decorate it, like this amazing necklace, and the way that you portray your thoughts in words and drawings, or even in lyric or music. Like, I get to see your heart through your art, and this is one reason I want to nurture the inner artist in everybody. And so also that will be a video series, potentially a course that I make, Unleashing the Inner Artist in Everybody. That's probably not what it's going to be called, but that's what it will consist of. You are an artist. Everybody is. All art is creating something that wasn't in existence before. And the more you practice doing it, the better everybody will get at communicating what you're trying to communicate. On top of that, I guess music. Yeah, I've been doing a lot of music. Luckily, Hawaii birthed my relationship with my guitar, and since I've just been playing. I take a little breaks and I feel guilty when I do that, but I'm just teaching myself and learning and writing songs, which I got a microphone. You're hearing it now. I'm gonna record music, which is nerve-wracking. Ask me 3 years ago if I would have ever sang in front of anybody. No. 2 years ago I picked up the ukulele and even started practicing, but now like I'm really sharing a lot and doing jam circles with people and singing in gatherings and just letting the ego go and letting my spirit show, which can be a little vulnerable, but it always pays off for show. Yeah. Being vulnerable is the biggest risk and reward that there is, and it just basically reaps vulnerability in others. Vulnerability begats vulnerability. It literally is a cycle, which leads to me being my authentic self with everybody, which is natural to me, but I'm just practicing it more and more. I also want to practice, on top of vulnerability, mindfulness and authenticity too. Vulnerability, authenticity, but also mindfulness, because if I'm really in my vulnerability and authenticity, I can, I think, be an energy vampire, and so I need to be mindful of like my boundaries. And so that's something I have been practicing and learning and exploring, is my own boundaries about my energy that I put off and the energy that I'm willing to take on. And I'm realizing that I really love to serve in certain ways, but then not myself, and then I become angry and bitter and unrested. And so I'm, over the past, I guess, year, I'm kind of seeing my old ways and reworking them and feeling what feels good, what feels right, and then going from there. Which can lead to me seeming like a selfish, self-centered person, I'm sure, to a lot of people. But when the alternative is being depressed, feeling like I have to run away from society, feeling like I don't want to even eat food because what's the point, and it's so gross, and there's no nothing has flavor, nothing has flavor. Like, I can't live that life, and that seems to be the alternative to the life that's very rich and authentic. So if you don't like it, bye. Or go comment below. You can comment all your hate. I can take it. I don't read it. But guess what that does? Circulate more and more views, which is helping me live my dreams, which is to not ever have a job again. Guess what, guys? I haven't had a job in forever. I mean, I got a lot of gigs and I own my own business, which is a constant job. But I've just been honoring the fact that I don't have to work for anybody. To mention that, I've been working on doing my taxes, because not working for anybody, I've gotten a little confused in that area. So as I have just stepped into my woman adult self, I have opened a savings account, paid off debts, built my credit, and started my taxes. Oh, and done a ton of dental work. Just did yesterday. Still a little numb. Sure, that will go away. But yeah, guys, like leveling up, that comes after the Saturn Return. It's called the Venus Rising. I'll talk about that in that other video. I guess I'll end full circle with saying, since I haven't been around on YouTube, I've been retreating, felt the need to retreat, and I've learned the importance of retreating, and I did the deed. And I'm done retreating for now. I have time and places for that. I know when my container is for retreating, and that's on retreats. Anyway, so thank you for allowing me to retreat. I permission you to retreat anytime that your being calls for it. And thank you for receiving me, whoever's watching this right now. Like literally, you're receiving me if you're seeing me say this. So it applies to you. So I appreciate you. I appreciate me for finally doing this, and I am over the shame that I have been, the shame cycle, you know, the one that's like, I suck, so I won't do the thing that would make me feel like I don't suck, and then I continue feeling like I suck. Yeah. We'll talk more later. We've got a lot of videos to make. Oh, by the way, I wanted to get your, I guess, your blessing on longer videos. My plan is as long as they take to be. Okay. All right. Follow my platforms if you want. Wired and Stoned, The Golden Glow. I'm creating my website, thegoldenglow.com. Hopefully it'll be live by the time you see this. It better be. Why would I post this video without finishing my website? This is going to be where I have my art and my offerings compiled, just like a portfolio. I just want to have that. And then, yeah, check out our website, getwiredandstone.com. Use coupon code RAINBOW for 22% off anything, including my artwork in the shop. Okay? Yeah, baby, as my teacher Jean would say.